Warning! Graphic pest control video ahead. Do not watch if you might be offended. If, however, you really like watching pest control videos, then hello again and welcome to the Squirrel Hunter channel. Please continue and watch us as we control pest populations with silenced air rifles here in the UK. If you have any questions, can you please check the description below first to see if it's already been answered and for some useful links. Thank you. If you've watched all our videos, you'd have bumped into Lethal Lee before, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm out with him again. What's happened is he's got another woodland to shoot. He shot it in years gone by and he's reconnected with the owner, and he wants to put a feeder up in there to get the squirrels. So he's given me the call to come out with him and help him sight the feeder. Just for interest's sake, this is a picture of our most prolific woodland we go shooting in. And I say that because this is the one I shot the 20 in when I broke the family record. It's at 9.5 acres roughly. Now compare that with Lethal's bit of woodland he's got to shoot, and at 38.87 is nearly 4 times the size. So it has great potential in my opinion. I'm just going to go in there and work out where to put this feeder. So for a good portion of this video I'm going to dedicate it to the setup of the feeder, and you can follow us through the shooting process. There's Lethal walking around the outside edge. He's told me it's quite thick inside. You can tell by the time of year what sort of weather it's like. Cold and windy, and you can see that lake that's at the top of the map. Didn't give you a very good orientation of that woodland before. You'll see in a minute what the true orientation of it is. I just made it that way so it fitted the picture better. Nice little pond. He's brought me here because he's seen squirrels in this location before. Very picturesque. We did look at going into the edges of here, up into these trees, a bit to see. There's drays in here, and there's one to the right somewhere there. Missed it in the zoom in. We had a good wander round. We decided on another location. We're now heading to this location. It's near some quite large drays. I'll explain the logic for why we put it there in a minute. Got a bit lost. We've walked around the outside edge and there was frogs moving in this pond. A little bit of bog in the middle. Didn't see it on the initial map, but it is there. Lots of wildlife here. Handy place for animals to drink. Nice bit of frog spawn there. It's also a very good landmark in a woodland to work out where you go in. And this is a location. There's a tree virtually smack bang in the middle of the wood. We decided to remove a bit of brambles from there. Being as the sun's over there, that's the east. And the sun will beam down that ride. Up through the wood, there's a few of them. They all seem to converge on this tree, which is out in the open. You can tell the time of year. Hung the feeder up now, left the area. A few snapshots on the way out of the location. The feeder's full of wheat. It's just been left to do its job now. This is the true orientation of it. I'm just zooming in on Google Earth. You can see the lake at the top, off centre by quite a way, isn't it? And it was just above that where Lethal was suggesting we set something up feeder wise. But then there's all this other wood to look into. I'm zooming in a bit further. You can see that's roughly where the tree is there. That might even be it. A big lump in the middle possibly, I don't know. Obviously Google Maps not representing the time of year. You can clearly see that's the easterly direction. The sun will beam down there. And we're sort of very central. So we're shielded from the wind from all directions. And we're in a position where we can draw squirrels in from all different angles. This is how we're going to sit. It's Lethal on the right and me on the left as we're looking at them now. I'm filming. Lethal will be using his rifle to shoot squirrels off the feeder, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. Now the feeder's been up several weeks and Lee's been coming out with his uncle and they've been monitoring the level, topping it up, and Lee's informed me that there's squirrel activity on it, so we've come out for a first attempt to see how many we can get. Lee's using his HW100 in 177. He's launching the Barracuda Hunter Extremes off my recommendation for my testing. I've done H&M pellets. Here we are, first light. First visits to a place I tend to come first light if possible and sit there for however long it takes and make note of when the squirrels turn up. It's quite a noisy wood, a lot of wildlife here. Even so say deer in the wood as well. But after a while you get to know what time the squirrels turn up, and you can tune your arrival accordingly. Obviously with it's pitch black we jumped the gun a bit and got here too early. We sit there through the dawn chorus, the dawn's breaking all around us. Most of the ground's clear, you can hear Lee's taking a shot now, we can see his crosshairs properly. Always take a 0 shot. You hear the Canada geese in the background, there's all manner of wildlife here. We cut a few of the nettles out in front but not many. It soon become apparent that we should have cut more. You'll see that in a minute. With the woodpecker in the background, hammering away on the trees, all the birds singing. We got in early, nothing knows we're there, or theoretically. You can see the sun starting to hit the tops of the trees. Got good visibility now. Just got to wait to see which direction the squirrels come from. Do they come over the trees via the aerial route, or do they come across the ground? It's quite clear. They do both. I can see sort of up the middle, further up this ride between the trees, a bit overgrown really. We never thought about that at the time. I never saw it before this morning, since the last time we put the feeder up. You can see this pheasant stalking around. They're usually some of the first things we see when we're out and about. See my camera. See the morning's gone on a bit further now. Sun's getting higher in the trees. Quite calm and still here. Birds coming in, taking the free wheat. Chucked a bit on the ledge of the feeder, just to get a bit of activity going. That has got a lid on it. Once a bit of free grains there. It's not long before the songbirds make advantage of it. Yeah, the crows have woken up now. It's about this time of the day I normally expect squirrels to start turning up. It's almost as though the birds wake them up, like an alarm call. That's just my fanciful thoughts. They spot some movement in the distance. Unfortunately, if I bothered to cut down some more vegetation, like those old nettle stalks, my camera might have focused on these deer wandering up the ride. They seem blissfully unaware of us. We can see them properly. Nice to see. There's supposed to be muntjac in this wood as well. Maybe we'll get to see them in a bit. I've used my handheld camera now. The tripod mounting one's not got the right angle. I think I might have made too much noise getting out the bag. Definitely looking in our direction. Still can't work out where we are though, can they? Which is a good sign. Pleased to see that. This is what the view looks back a bit. See them to the right there. Gonna have to do a bit of deforestation here. Rip a few of them brambles down. Certainly give them nettles a good haircut. If anything else turns up there in future visits, I want to be able to see it. That's including squirrels running towards us or whatever. I'm more than happy with the positioning of the hides. We've got a solid backdrop behind us, so we're nice and dark. But up that ride the sun shines, so they've got to virtually look in the sun. It's very difficult for them to see us. I've had a nudge off Lethal. He's told me there's a squirrel coming in. So the camera's on. This could be number 1 of the day maybe. It's up there somewhere. There it is. Bouncing around in the branches. Early part of the year. Not a lot of cover there. Quite obvious really. As you'll see in future videos, even when there's lots of leaves, on a still day you can tell they're coming a mile away. It's like an orangutan bashing through the bushes. This one's come over from the aerial route, it's come down the tree. Pretty sure it's going to come for a feed. Be quite interested to see what happens here. Got into that bush. Both of us are looking on with interest. Did worry for a second that it wasn't going to come out, but it does in a minute, trust me. I've seen the video after all. There it is. I spotted it and the camera's on it. This is where I started to think that these nettles were more of a problem than we thought they were. Not just for taking pictures of deer down the ride there. You can't quite see the approach properly if they're going to do that. I will just mention at this point we're waiting for the squirrel to arrive on the feeder, that Lee has his camera as a scope cam today. He's got a scope mount for it. There's the squirrel appears on the side of the tree. So we will be getting a bit of scope cam footage. I'm not sure what make it is, but he doesn't use it anymore. I think this was the last time he did use it. This one's coming to the ground for some reason. I think it's a spilt grain down there, which is highly irritating. I'm just going to wait for it to go up to the feeder now. What happens in a minute is we exploit some of the squirrel's behaviour to be able to shoot it. It's buried itself in there now, neither of us can see it properly. Lee's sat to the left of me. I haven't got anything. I just left the camera on it. I'm looking back at him and shrugging. He's got the camera mounted. He's looking at his camera on his phone. Can't see anything to shoot at either, so we're both shrugging at each other now. Starting to move to the left. If it comes into that opening, it could be in trouble. But no, it's sat up to feed, believe it or not. I can just about make its eye out. I could probably take a shot from there if I had a rifle. I can see its eye now. I could take a shot at that. You can see the target and it's sat still, you could kill it. But Lee can't see it at all from where he is. There's quite a bit of spilt grain on the floor. Because last time Lee filled it up, which wasn't that long ago, he dug the trough out a bit, the hop on the front, and chucked it on the floor. Which is normally not a problem. If you could see it, you could shoot it. Highly frustrating, isn't it? I've left this in just to show you what happened. Bear in mind this is the first one to be shot on this feeder, or potentially. This is going to sit there and annoy everybody. Right, I've just sped it up now. It's starting to frustrate me waiting. We sat there the whole time looking at this. This squirrel's having a rare old time. Perfect example of the squirrel sitting still. The perfect example of the squirrel you can't shoot because you can't see it properly. Just got to be patient. I'm looking at Lee. Through the art of mime, I'm trying to tell him that I'm about to clap my hands to try and cause the squirrel to go on alert and move to the side. And that was it. No joy, so I'm going to click my fingers now and watch what happens. There we go. That was a click of the fingers caused it to do that. That sharp sound caused it to jump into view. As you can see by the crosshairs. And Lee has a perfect view. The pellet finds its mark. Front on headshot. Very effective. These nettles are causing a bit of grief now. Doesn't look that bad at first. There's a number of levels. They become quite annoying. We had a bit of discussion about this, that they will be marked for chopping. You sit now. Wait for another squirrel to turn up if we're lucky. Watch the birds in the meantime. Lethal spotted movement. Straight in front somewhere, so the camera's on. Just got to pick it up. I trust his judgment, he's seen it. Where is it? There it is. Just about to see the shape moving around. Unless it's just having a mooch about, I'm pretty certain it wants to come for a free feed. There it goes, dashes up into the sunlight. It's having a bit of a sniff about. The more squirrels that pass this area, the more scent they leave. We do believe that's a big component in the feeder. being discovered. Whether squirrels spot a squirrel on the feeder or they follow the smells of another one and suddenly discover it. I must admit it took a bit longer for squirrels to find this than I thought it would. But once it becomes established, this should be a good spot. That's one shot up in the air now. Managed to pick it up again. No rush, sunny morning. And as they often do, they have a mooch about. Must admit it's a bit more tense when you get to see them coming in from a distance. If you never saw them, you wouldn't know until they appeared on the feeder. This one's definitely making a beeline for the tree. Quick pan back. It's gone round the back. Where will it appear? It's over there now. Unfortunately it's gone past the tree, showing no sign of wanting to go to it. We're both looking at each other thinking this isn't very good at all. Couldn't have seen the one on the floor surely. Or is that it again? Maybe another one, possibly. Who cares? We only need one to go on the feeder. There we go. It's come to the tree finally. A few thumbs up between me and Lee. This one looks like it's going to come for a feed. Not before it's had a good sniff. There's no shot on it there for Lee. Not that angle. It's easy with the camera to get it on film. Camera's right at the front of the hide. Oops. Top camera work there from me. This is more like it. Making a beeline for the feeder at last. Yay, a squirrel on the feeder. Lee's on it. I did wonder if Lee was going to take the shot then. He's feeling a bit on the cautious side. Showing excellent patience. It is tempting though, but then you get those little head movements. Go on Fleabag, have a scratch. Might have spotted the one on the floor maybe. Tail's flicking. Sometimes see them do that arm stretch thing. They'll hang by their back legs and stretch their arms out. Maybe they get tired from climbing, I don't know. He's definitely seen the one on the floor now. Oh no, not another one that's going to come and feed on the deck. That's all we need. That's better. That's exactly what we wanted. There we go, Lee. He just wants to get into a rhythm now. Taking its feed. That'll do. It's a nice shot. Like I said before, I'm not sure it's me being the camera there where Lee wanted to be extra cautious. But there is no rush. Looks pretty good. This time, just sit up, son. There we are, that'll do. Excellent job. After all that effort, got one kicking in the nettles. Well done, Lee. Let's have a quick look through his scope. It's got a bit of a different view to me. It's all over for that squirrel. I think that might be a jay up there somewhere. Bit of a weird noise though. That's if it is making the noise. Things you see when you're in the woods, eh? Back to a bit of bird watching. And eventually another squirrel shows itself. This one's come straight down the back of the tree, caught us both unawares. Let's have a look at the ones on the floor. Just stone dead. Frustrating nettles yet again. And they'll only grow much bigger if left unattended. A lot of wildlife likes nettles, but in this instance, pays to have a little strip cleared out and leave the rest of the woodland alone. Just clear the bit where you want to shoot. We've already agreed between the squirrels that we're going to have to do some chopping around here, remove a few sticks, tidy the area up a bit so we can see the approach of squirrels and other animals. This one's come straight on the feeder really. Compared to the other ones, it didn't mess about that much at all really. Leads on it, the scope cam. See where the crosshairs are aiming. Again, he's being quite cautious. There is no rush. It's rightly identified it's feeding comfortably. There we go. That'll do. Squirrel sat up. Got a pellet in the top of the head. You can see on the floor better than me. Looks like it's all over. That's the third one down. Not looking too bad. For a new feeder, that is. Like I said before, it took a while before they came to it. We spotted another one. There it is, running up the ride where the deer were. Wrong way, fella. There's definitely some about. I thought it might come back out and come back down again. Unfortunately it didn't. We got time though. It'll eventually end up on this feeder at some point. Especially when it's hungry. If it isn't today, it'll be another day. And one day we'll be sat here. This one's coming herring down the tree. Excuse the phone there. Don't know why my camera would pick that up. That's it, son. Come and sit on the feeder. Straight in, no messing. This is more like it. Leads on him again. Yeah, the wind's blowing a bit, but pretty sheltered where we are. That'll do. Nice feeding pattern's been attained. You can virtually count the seconds. There we go, taking a handful. And squirrel down. That's what I wanted to see. That's dropped in the nettles, but I'm pretty sure that's a good shot. Lee can see it better than I can. We're both nodding to each other. Shot's a good one. Quite a devastating little pellet. The 100 Extreme, very impressed with them. All the testing I did with them. They did very well against rats. Looks like they do very well against squirrels as well. In 177 that is. I have tried them in 2-2 against squirrels and they do a great job. Starting to look like a half decent day today. That's all we got. So we wrapped up. We had to pick up. Quite easy to see from above, aren't they? Lethal's checking the levels in there. Still pretty good from the other day when he filled it up. Just do a bit of a check of the bodies. All the shots were good. They all went down like a sack of spuds. Only 4, but it's a new feeder. Sometimes they take a bit of time to establish. And as you'll see by the title, there is a part 2 to this video, which will be next edition out. Bearing in mind that Lee's best off a feeder with an air rifle is 10, which I do believe I filmed before. That was off a pheasant feeder. The next time we shoot this, it's later on in the year. I'm busily taking the mickey out of him, trying to put this pop-up hide together. He's just about managed it. He's getting better at it. They're not that difficult. For this time, the next time we shoot this feeder, it's the most prolific time of year for shooting squirrels on feeders. Let's see if we can threaten his personal best of 10. We have to stay tuned and look out for that video in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share. Thank you.